mortgage crisis is hitting our community because lenders are going on greed. They're giving loans to people who can't afford them. They're putting them in adjustable rate mortgages, and when the home gets foreclosed, they get your payment and they get the home. And what happens is banks wanted to get greedy. They want to charge people higher interest rates, so they're putting them in adjustable rate mortgages, and they make you sign at 6%, but when it adjusts to 12% and you can't afford it, they take the payments and they take the homes. And the problem is the corporate lobbyists, they play both sides of the fence. They give to Steve Shabbat and they give to Steve Driehaus, and the community's left out in the cold. Eric Wilson is the only person who's a mortgage banker by trade. We got to stop the politics as usual. We're standing outside of the Freedom Center that taxpayers helped build, and the Republican Party doesn't care that you're out here. The Democratic Party doesn't care that you're out here, and that's why you have a write-in candidate. The only reason Barack Obama is on the verge of being the president is because the people came out and came to the polls. The House of Representatives is the people's house.
Right.
It's not the Democrats' house. It's not the Republicans' house. It's the people's house. And when you go to the polls and you vote Obama and write in Wilson, the people will take back their house. And in closing, this is important. Change comes from the ground up. So when you tell people the game plan is vote Obama, write in Wilson, and you take them to the polls, change is going to come to Cincinnati, it's going to come to the Democratic Party. Because if the Democratic Party cared about your community, your NAACP president would be on council. If the Democratic Party cared about freedom and justice, they'd be out there in the community. If the Democratic Party cared about fairness and inclusion, they wouldn't lock African Americans out of their own Freedom Center. So I'm here to tell you, the days of segregation are over, and they're not going to segregate the Freedom Center because the NAACP and the community is not going to stand for it. And I'm personally offended that they're trying to hold a debate at the Freedom Center and deny freedom to the voters of the 1st Congressional District. Now let's be honest here. Steve Driehaus doesn't want Eric Wilson in the debate because Eric Wilson's the only person who supported Barack Obama. Eric Wilson was the only person who wanted him to get the nomination. You can go to YouTube and put in Driehaus Obama, and you'll see the reporter ask Steve Driehaus, why won't you support Barack Obama? Why don't you want Obama to be the nominee? He wouldn't even say the man's name. I had to go to the Democratic National Convention to honor Hillary Clinton's historic bid and see history being made with Obama being nominated. The foreign press was there, and foreigners were calling up and they said, who's at the Democratic National Convention? Who showed up? And the reporter said, America showed up, but Steve Driehaus and Steve Shabbat wouldn't be caught dead at the Democratic National Convention. Steve Shabbat and Steve Driehaus didn't want Obama to get the nomination. Steve Shabbat and Steve Driehaus want to turn the clock back on reproductive freedom. Yet they want to piggyback on all the Obama supporters and all the Hillary Clinton supporters. Barack Obama believes change is coming to America. Eric Wilson believes change is coming to the 1st Congressional District. And when you go to that polls and you vote Obama and write in Wilson, the people will take back their house.
All right, brother. Thank you. All right. Sister Iris, come here. Tell us what we need to be doing, sister.
What's your name for the camera?
Eric Wilson, running for Congress, Cincinnati. It's a struggle, but we're not going to give up.
Yes, sir.
When we were in slavery,
yes, sir.
we had to find a different path.
Yes,
we had to take the Underground Railroad.
Right.
Well, we're going to find another path here because the struggle continues.
Right. Signing off.
Signing off.
And it won't be televised.